Hello there, welcome to the Chat Lounge. My name is Belinda Ashlyn, and today I am having one of the most incredible guests in studio, and he is going to have a conversation on technology. I believe that's one of the most interesting conversations everyone likes, considering that right now technology is one of the most fast-growing sector in this particular life. So I want you first to introduce yourself and then introduce what you do. Then we can get down into the conversation of the day.
Thank you so much. My name is Vincent Wasonga. I'm a software engineer. What I do is to design simple applications that solve real-life problems for our people. Thank you so much.
Interesting. Yeah. Every person in tech anashinda akisema they solve a problem. There's always a problem in technology to be solved. Anyway, today's conversation is all about the new innovation that is going to help a person in order to fix a gap. And that gap is if you lose something, how do you go about it? Because at the end of the day, we all want something to be solved. So if you've lost something, how do I get that particular item? Because I do not want to go again ahead and spend money and get that same product again. You get me? So the product is a website that it has been innovated by Mr. Vincent, and it's called the Lost and Found Lookup Services. So I would like you first to give us a brief information about what Lost and Found Lookup Services is all about.
Okay, the software is called Lost and Found Lookup Service. It is a cloud-based web app that is accessible via the domain name lflookup.com. So if you type lflookup.com on your device, a mobile phone or a computer, you should be able to access the site. Mm-hmm. It enables you to look up a lost item or a found item. And it is a safe environment because it doesn't expose your data to anybody other than the person that your data has looked onto. Mm-hmm. So basically that is how it works. So whatever data that you keep there, nobody is able to access that data except the person whose data matches yours. Mm-hmm. So it uses a number of metrics to match the data.
Okay.
Yes.
So that means both the person who lost the particular item and the person who found the item should be the ones to access that website.
Yes, it is unique kind of because just posting a lost and found item will not go through until both the two parties, the person who lost the item and the person who has found the item, has posted the details of the lost item on the platform. And what it does virtually is to connect just the two of you, nobody else, based on the parameters that it's looking for in the information that you provided on the platform.
Can there be a third party like the police case? It could be a police case. You've decided maybe you've lost your phone and it has been taken to a police station, or a police was working towards a certain incident that took place, or maybe it's an accident that took place in a particular place. Then you lost your phone there and you probably were taken to the hospital. Can that be something that can work?
We give a disclaimer that if you lose something through robbery or through a criminal activity, then you are not supposed to post it on the website, on the application. But if you do, it must be accompanied by OB. That is, you must have reported the same to the police, and the other party must be aware. So in that case, you don't put yourself in a situation where you are trying to be a good Samaritan, yet the item that you are handling was involved in a crime. Sure.
Don't you think that's a long process for the person who just found that particular product of the lost item?
The person who has found an item may not know that this was an item that was involved in a crime. He has found a lost item.
Yes.
And what you do is you post that lost item on the platform. And because it is a safe environment, whatever you post there, it is only you who can see it. Nobody else can see it. The only other person who can see it is the other person who has lost. And for you to be linked, all this information has to be declared. Okay. So all the same, you can decline at whatever stage. Yes.
Interesting. So how do you use it? How can you explain to someone who is the first timer, the moment they first start using this particular website? How do I go about it?
Okay, for you to use the platform, the first step would be to register. And registration is simple. You just provide your names and email address. Just that.
I go to the website, then click my name, just register.
Yes, you just provide your name and your email address, and you click register.
Okay.
And perhaps you need to add the password that you will require to log in.
Okay.
Yes, so it's a name, email address, and the password that you will require to log in.
How about the encryption?
The app is secured through the SL certificate. So the data that you provide is a protected data. It cannot leak to any other source.
Okay.
Sure.
Interesting. So why did you come up with this particular innovation, the lost and found item?
Yeah, that is a good question. We have people losing items every day. And some of those items are very important items for us. You will lose your ID. And in Kenya now, losing an ID is 1,000 shillings.
Yes, and I don't want to go and pay that 1,000 shillings.
Sure. So why pay 1,000 shillings if you can get it back? Yes. The other thing is you could be losing an important document, a document like academic certificates, or a title deed, a land title deed.
Hey, that's too much.
Or even a basic document like a birth certificate.
Yeah.
Yes. So if you lose such kind of a document, the first thing you will do is to get a unique identifier. Those are some of the metrics that we use to look up the item on the system. A unique identifier, which would be, for in the case of a certificate, will be a serial number.
Okay.
In the case of a land title deed, we have the deed number, and etc. etc. If you provide that information and the other party also provides the information, then the loop will match.
Or is there a particular place in the website that has been shown? This is the area where you're supposed to insert maybe the serial number for the birth certificate, or najifilia?
Okay, the system is made a bit secure to not allow input from users. So you'll find most of the information are already provided.
Okay.
So so if you go there, you'll find if it is, for example, academic certificate, that information is already provided there. So the only data that you are supposed to provide is if you have the serial number. That is the only information that you provide. Again, the system, it should be able to check if the data that you are giving matches what is probably known as a serial number, without which it will not accept the data. So again, the information that you provide in the system is very, very safe.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. How did you come up with this particular innovation?
We lose our documents each day, and probably there has never been a better way of recovering these documents. And thinking about it, you say, why can't we come up with something that can enable people get document? Now, the beauty of it is that it spans beyond border. You could lose your document on the move. That is when you are traveling, or locally. So it is able to identify that. It is able to use the other matrix is Google location. The Google location kind of localizes the area where this document is lost. It also uses the information that you provide, like it will ask you, where did you lose documents? So it'll say, I lost it at such a place. So
your work is to make it easier for me not to go around asking and finding out where it is.
Exactly.
You're the one who will be doing the follow-up.
Exactly. So you find, of course, there could be some apps that are doing the same. But the metrics that they use to look up the service makes it a bit difficult. Like for example, getting the picture of the item that is lost and posting it.
Yeah.
So that you expose somebody's information. But what this does is
encrypting someone's information.
Sure. So and not just encrypting, just matching people directly. So I'll give you I'll give one of the main reason. I'll give you one of the main reason is safety online. I'll give you one example. You've lost your national ID.
Yeah.
And somebody has picked the national ID. And the person who has picked the national ID has chosen to use the lflookup.com to look up for the owner of this document. So what will he do? He'll go into the platform, register if he hasn't registered. If he has registered, login. And I will say I found a national ID and this is the ID number. Or I found a passport, a travel passport, and this is the passport number. And as simple as that, just click save. Of course, the system may prompt you to give the information. Where did you find it? Was it in an open space or in a closed space or in a moving object like a vehicle? Something like that. So it should be able to tell whether the person is local or the person was on the move. And if the person was on the move, the geography will change. So if after doing that, then it will ask you, can you provide a photo of this document? So you'll again take the photo of that national ID or passport and upload it onto the system. So the person who lost the item, if he goes to the system again and look up using the passport number or the national ID number, they will be matched. And when they will be matched, still they will not be able to see each other. You'll just see a document matching your document. But the person who has posted it, you'll not be able to see. But with the photo evidence that the person has provided, as the owner, you'll authenticate that indeed this is my passport. Yes. Then from there now, you will now invoke the system to allow the two of you to match. So you have to consent. That is another safety measure. You have to consent that I've got a document posted that exactly matches the geography that is indicated matches, the number that is indicated matches, and the photograph that is indicated matches.
So which means the information that I give you, it should be your personal information. Anyone else cannot have that particular information because there's someone who is very corrupt. Anaweza amua anachukua kitu yenye si yake.
Yes. Anaweza amua anachukua kitu yenye si yake. So then the system will ask you, do you want to link with the other person? Then you say yes. So after consenting, the other person will be asked, do you want to consent? And then it asks you, how much information do you want to provide to the other person?
Okay.
Yeah. So if you can choose that you don't want to meet the other person. Say, I found your ID, it was left at a desk in such a place. Go and pick it. Yes. So in that case, I've enabled you to get your national ID while choosing to stay anonymous. Yes.
Hey, interesting. I love how this thing is working. But the other question is, what if I do not remember where exactly I lost my item? I could be moving and I wanted to leave maybe where I'm staying. I use a matatu probably or any other public means. Like maybe I'm using a train. But then I do not remember where exactly I lost it.
That is provided for. Actually, when you log in and you start providing the information, it will ask you, did you pick it in a bus? Or did you pick it
or the last place where I used it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Was it lost in a bus or for transport we have 3 modes. Did you pick it in a train? Did you pick it or did you lose it in a train or in a bus or in a stage, a bus terminus or in a railway terminus or in an airport terminus? So it will ask that. So from there now it is able to tell whether this person was on the move or is just localized there.
Interesting. Though I still believe there is someone with a very short memory. Hakumbuki ni wapi aliangushia. Hakumbuki ni wapi
if you don't remember, then we will use the unique identifier. Yeah, we'll use the unique identifier.
Okay.
So in that case, and you can pick somebody's bag but within the bag, there's so many things. Could be this person was having his documents there. This person was having his bank plate, the debit card or the credit card. This person could be having a necklace. So in that case, again, we don't want you to report everything. Just report one that has a unique identifier. So if it has a travel document like a passport, so you just say, I found a passport. But beside it, it asks you to give a description of this passport. So you say, I found a passport of this passport number, but alongside it, there was a bag of this description. It had a necklace inside. It has maybe a laptop inside, those other things. So those descriptions there. The other person who loses will also be expected to disclose the content of the bag, for example. So say my bag had a travel document, but it also had this other item. So actually, those are some of the other metrics that we use to match these two people. Yes.
Interesting. You see, in every application or anything that is about to solve your problem, you as a person who is using that particular product or even service, you want to know, how is it benefiting me? So how is Lookup services going to benefit me? The LFLS services going to benefit me?
There are a number of parties here.
Yeah.
There is the person who has lost a valuable item. This person will benefit by getting his item back. Yes, and there is this person who has picked the item and has offered to return the item back to the person who has lost. And what the system will ask you to do after matching is to be facilitated by the person who has lost the item, to enable you to help him get back his item. So there is kind of a compensation, a mutual compensation. And of course, the platform also has to keep on running, and it can only run with the support of the user.
Okay.
So the user will be required to kind of compensate for having found his item back. So it is kind of a mutual environment where everybody benefits.
Benefiting.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. So from this whole information that you've given us, of course, we are all Kenyans, and would like to know what's the future plan for this Lookup. Let's start for the Lookup services first, then we can look at the future of technology in Kenya.
We are starting in Kenya. We are based in Kenya, but we are expecting to expand. But even currently, as it is designed, it can function in any country. Yes, the only thing that it needs is to have local representation that will be ambassador of the LFLS Lookup service. When I did mention that, but when you are logging in, the system is supposed to capture your jurisdiction, which country do you belong. So if you are in Uganda, it works for you within the Uganda. Or if you are Kenya, it works for you within the Kenya. But the moment you also indicate that this thing was lost in an airport, or in a railway terminal, it will know if this railway terminal is a trans-country, and of course the airport is a trans-country, then it will be able to also prompt you to tell which destination. So from there, it can tell you lost your item. If you, for example, you are traveling from Kenya to Uganda, it will tell you you left your document in Nairobi, Kenya. Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes. So it is something that is starting, but it is something that is currently working across the globe. Yes.
And the future of technology. We obviously know right now, one thing that is taking over is the AI. So we have no idea what is going to take place in the future, considering that, one, you are an innovator. Yes. So what do you see is the future of technology in Kenya?
Technology, the beauty of it is that it makes work easy, and it helps you solve the problems that are facing us in a more simpler manner. So technology is growing, and a lot of investment is being put in technology, and that is the way to go. A case in point is Kenya as a country. So many of the government services, for example, are online, and that is the way to go. It improves transparency, it improves accountability, and if the cyberspace is well managed and secured, then it is also a very safe space to do your transactions. Instead of traveling to do a physical process, you just sit at the comfort of your room, and with your device you are able to do the transaction. So again, it's also even saving you time as a user. It is saving you money as a user. So so technology is the way to go. It is an enabler, and it is something that we all should embrace.
Oh, very interesting. How about in terms of cybersecurity? Make it in the connection of what any lost and found lookup services is going to gain from this particular sector.
The cybersecurity is a challenge, but there are usually measures to counter the challenge. And for the lflookup.com, it is cloud-based, and the infrastructure that we have chosen to host it is based on a well-made decision to ensure that everything is secure, that whoever is going to use it has got his data safe. But the beauty of it is that it's not asking you to provide any sensitive data on it. Yes. So whatever information that you provide, is not susceptible to cyber attack. The other thing is in the policy is we are not obligated to keep your data beyond the recovery of the item that is lost and recovered. Once it is recovered, we can only keep it for a given duration, which is declared in the terms and conditions of usage, after which that data is deleted automatically.
So we have, in everything that we've talked about when it comes to technology, there's always a risk. So what do you think are some of the risks when it comes to the growth of technology?
One of the risks is the cybersecurity that we have just talked about, and it makes people develop an attitude that is not pro-technology. Yes, that is it. But the other challenges will be, for example, we are talking about devices here. Maybe devices are not cheap or they are not available. The other challenge will be connectivity. But I think Kenya in Africa is one of the best in terms of connectivity.
Maybe that's true. And that's why you have people like Elon Musk who want to invest so much in terms of technology in Kenya.
Sure. But technology is everywhere. There is no country that cannot. The penetration may be low.
But they still have it. They have access to it.
Sure, yeah. So those are challenges, but I think they are also manageable challenges. Yes.
Interesting. We have this particular area where everyone is complaining about unemployment. And this sector of technology is also advancing each and every day. So what is your opinion on how to enhance the innovation among the young people in Kenya?
Technology is a good thing, and I think most youths are into technology.
Yeah, that's true.
You can be into technology as a user or as a creator. So depending on which side that you've picked, if you're a creator, I think it is just good to just go and do your thing. And we're saying the main thing here is solving problems for people. As long as you're able to solve somebody's problem, that solution will earn you a coin. So that is it. So and again, if you're an end user, you can still use the same technology to earn you something. So technology for youth is something that I will encourage on either side, as a content or as a software developer or as a user, depending on where somebody finds he or she is comfortable with. Yes.
How exactly do we do that? How do we enhance that innovation?
One is you have to train. You have to have the skill. If you want to be on the tech side, you have to train yourself. You have to be mentored. You have to upskill yourself even after training. That is a must. And the most important thing again is you have to network. So with all those things, you can choose again to look for job through networking or to team up and come up with a solution.
Something.
Yes.
So when you're talking about this innovation, did you and other people come up together and decided, let's come up with this particular idea?
That is true. And I like myself, I didn't choose to be employed as a tech. Yes, I didn't choose to be employed as a tech, but I chose to design simple solutions which are working. Yes. So when they are working and they're able to give you something on the pocket, that is what everybody is looking
forward
to. And the government will also be able to get their tax there.
Sure. That's true. Talking about mentorship, that in one way of enhancing the innovation part is through mentorship. Are you currently offering mentorship services? Or are you currently mentoring some few individuals when it comes to tech?
I do. And everybody who comes my path, I will do that. 1,001 times. But again, you have to consider somebody's interest, because not everybody will be interested in something. But for the person who is interested in tech, I do.
So what's your strategy on getting these offering these mentorship services?
The best usually is like myself, I'm in the Twitter space. Yes, so most of the discussions that we do are done on the Twitter space. But there are also people that we come face to face with. So in that case, you can offer to work together to mentor somebody on a particular project, to give somebody an idea on how they can improve on their skills, etc., etc. So it's both in the virtual space and on the physical sphere.
Okay. You see, technology is one of those courses that is under the STEM courses. And right now, what's being emphasized the most is more about women empowerment. Do you think the number of women in this particular space is somehow reducing? What's your take on that? And how do we go about encouraging most of the ladies to get into the tech space?
Me, at a personal level, I haven't done that. But I'm a beneficiary of Andela. And during my time at Andela, I saw so many women doing quite well. Yeah. And there are so many people and there are so many organizations that have taken that initiative to mentor women, to encourage women to get into technology, and even to offer free training, free professional training for women, and give them their own environment where they can network among themselves. Yes.
Interesting. So the future of tech is also including, it has included the women.
Sure, it has.
Okay.
It has. But it starts with the person and the interest that this person has. You have to make a personal decision that I want to join this ecosystem.
Yeah.
So once you make that decision that I'm joining this ecosystem, the sky is the limit.
Interesting.
Sure.
What would you tell someone that they not only want to use the lookup services, but they would like to get into technology or probably be an innovator? What would you tell that person in form of an advice?
In form of an advice?
Yeah.
If you make a choice that you want to join technology, it is the best thing, it is the best decision that you are making. The first thing you ask yourself is, do I have the passion? If you have the passion, then the next thing you ask yourself, do you have the skill? And if you have the skill, then the best is just to dive into it. But if you don't have the skill, then the next question we ask ourselves is, where or how do I get this skill? There are so many organizations which are training, both with financial implication or on scholarship. So you can apply for scholarship, get trained, or you can, if you have money, also pay and get trained. Yes.
As we are still talking about the training, we know something called AI, and specifically the ChatGPT. We know that at some point it's going to take over certain careers and also certain skills. What are your thoughts on that?
It will, but we are talking here of emerging technology.
Yeah.
And emerging technology is countered by upskilling. So there are people who will be rendered redundant, but there are people who will move with it. So we can only urge people to embrace change, as change is the only thing that does not change. Yes, it
never stops.
That never stops. So if you embrace change, you move with it. Because AI doesn't function without human. Yes. So if whatever task that you are doing is taken over by AI still needs somebody to teach it how to function. So you just change role, and you can only change role by upskilling your skills. Your skills, yes.
Interesting. Anyway, we are coming to the end of this particular show, and I'm so glad that you came over for us to hold this particular conversation. So where else can someone find you apart from just going to search for the website? How can they get to know more information about this particular project or your own personal social media accounts?
Oh, okay. I think I'll give you the page for the app, the LFLS page on Facebook. If you go to the Facebook and Google LFLS or lflookup.com, you'll be able to get the page.
Interesting.
Sure.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vincent, for showing up. And we've had a very interactive particular conversation. I hope you, as well as our listener, you and our audience, you are able to get something out of this particular conversation. Anyway, in case of any other questions, make sure to jot them down on our comment section in order for us to share it with our guests so that they can know where exactly you could be inquiring from. Anyway, this has been the Chat Lounge. My name is Belinda Ashlyn. Till next time.